Hi, it's Amanda with Always in Love. We are here today with another review. Today we are reviewing Rule by Crownover. This book is about the tattooed, pierced bad boy who falls in love with the goody two shoes. But the thing I like about this one is it's kind of a take because he had a twin brother, and he is pretty much the opposite of everything his twin brother. His twin brother was clean cut and good in school, and everything. And then Rule has strived to be the complete opposite. He's pierced, bad attitude, bad boy. And Landon comes along, and she is super close friends with Remy, and everybody thinks they're meant to be together, they're destined to be together. And then something happens to the twin, and Remy is no longer with us. So Rule and Shaw are just kind of at odds all the time. They fight all the time, and he thinks she's some stuck up princess who's just, always hung around for his brother. And secretly, she's been in love with him her entire life. And nobody really knows it except for Remy. So one night they get crazy and drunk on her 21st birthday, and everything changes. So the rest of the story is kind of about them trying to be these opposites that kind of trying to make it work. And it had one of my favorite quotes of pretty much any book that I've read for a while, and it's opposites don't just attract, they freaking catch fire and burn the entire city down. And that is the perfect summation of this book. Like it is everything about this book. It's just perfect for them, for their intense attraction, for their fights, for their everything about the two of them together. But there are also these people that are so opposite but yet so perfect together. So tell us a little bit about our book boyfriend, Rule.
Rule. It's like I said, this is classified like as a young adult contemporary book, and it's not. It's so full of adult content, like older adult. Like I'm close to 40, and I don't know. The Rule just had me because he is the bad boy that has a heart of gold. Everyone thinks he's this tattooed total prick. But once you peel back his layers and you see what he truly is, he's not. Like has this huge soul that no one in his family, has seen. And I knew his dad and his brother Rome, kind of knew, and Remy always knew it. And Remy and him were thick as thieves, even though they were complete opposites. And when Remy died, it changed him. And he always felt like he was the responsible for his brother's death, and he wasn't. And it was he goes through this, and then there's Shaw that is kind of like the glue to their whole family, and then honestly to Rule's soul. And Rule just didn't know that that's who he didn't know that that's who the person was that was going to bring him back to who he's supposed to be. And they just go through this, and I think that's why Rule is just so, I don't know, it's just the whole thing. And then to boot, if you read the book, there's also this amazing audio, and I know Amanda and I've talked about this. The audio of it is almost even better because you just kind of have more depth of love for him. And then you just feel like, I don't know, I just feel like I'm staring at him the whole time I'm listening to this, and hearing his frustrations with everyone kind of just misinterpreting him, because he gets misinterpreted a lot by everybody, and they think he's what he is, and he's not. There's so much, but Shaw sees that all, and Shaw just does this whole entire, they're so opposite, but she's the best one. And then even Cora, the gal that manages like the whole tattoo thing, she walks in and says, "You're too like pretty for this," and maybe like a just kind of like she was like the ruler of the men of the tattoo shop. And when she meets Shaw, she just like, "Oh my gosh, you're Shaw, you are Shaw." And so it's interesting that he may, not under, he may not know it, but he really, I think he has been secretly like had something for her too, but he finally admitted on her 21st birthday.
Yeah,
I mean, don't you agree?
yeah, he definitely had something for her. I mean, he would try to chase her off by having one night stands over when she came to pick him up, like all kinds of stuff. But it really, in the beginning, their attraction felt like the grade school attraction. Like, I'm gonna be mean to you because I like you. But I think that was part of his personality, like his thing. He was really close to Remy, and he lost him. He was really close to Rome, and Rome went away to war. So everybody that's really close to him, kind of, I mean, his family becomes distant. And everything. Everybody that gets close to him leaves him in some way. So I think that was part of his way of holding her kind of at bay and, you know, away from her, is kind of treating her mean and trying to keep everybody away, which is the same, like, he is mentioned several times as acting like a cranky toddler to everyone. And I just think that that attitude was just a way of kind of protecting himself.
Yeah.
But when Rule came, she didn't change him. I mean, not the bad boy that's going to change or fix his hair normal or take out his piercings or anything, hide his tattoos, anything. She just kind of smooths some of the edges a little bit, and she doesn't make him nicer to be around for everybody, but she just brings out the best in him in a lot of ways, and that's really what made this book. Like, they fought like cats and dogs all the time. When they broke up, it was epic. It was I mean, everything about them is fire. It's passion, it's burn, it's everything within the book. You know, he calls her Casper because of her blonde hair and everything, and everybody thought that that was, you know, him making fun of her, but really it was this term of endearment that really kind of he held special and she held special, and they just really didn't know. And it kind of started out, how she got her first tattoo was she got the little Casper, and then I just the way that they brought out the best in each other. You know, she was kind of in her shell and quiet and a bookworm and everything, and then he brings her out of her shell and kind of she does the crazy stuff with her hair, and she really opens up and becomes more, um, I guess, more involved in
Yeah.
things outside of the office. It makes both of them kind of bring out the best. But like I said, this whole book is it's like an inferno. I mean, it's like an explosion one minute, and then you know, the passion, the fire, everything. It's just a lot of fun to read. But there are a lot of really funny things, really funny parts. The other guys in the shop give it real crap. Um, there are serious moments. There's ups and downs in this book, and it really made it interesting to read. Um, the part I like most about this book is Jay Crownover has a way of drawing you into the series. Like, you start to care for all of the other people in this book, and you kind of want to see what happens to them.
Hmm.
And so the entire series, you're just like, oh, I can't wait to see, you know, what happens to this couple or this person or how this all ends up. And um, it's a really good first step into this whole Marked Men of Denver series. And Rule, the piercings, the tattoos, everything about him is definitely top shelf book boyfriend. I mean, he might come off as this really gruff bad boy, but oh,
And I think that's why you and I are so drawn to him is because, he is this gruff bad boy, but there's just so much more to him. And then you have his supporting cast of like everyone at the shop and then his brother and then the roommate. You just kind of have like this whole it's like a whole group of people that you want to be part of. Like I want to be part of the Marked Men. Like I want to be part of that Denver scene. And it was just one of those books that I've re-listened to it several times, and I know you have liked it so much too. And that's why I think I have the Marked series like. I'm reading, I'm going to them because I want to see Rome's story and I want to see Nash's story. Like, there's so much that I fell in love with all the characters in it. I think they all like left something for me, and I think that's why I liked her writing so much.
even down to like the tattoos and everything. Like, I wanted to go to that shop and get a tattoo, like, really bad after reading this. Like, the way that she writes, it's well written about everything.
Yes.
The tattooing, the art, the everything. It's not just something that he does.
Mm-hmm.
It's really passion, and she really talks about that quite a bit in the shop and things like that. I mean, there's a whole lot of stuff that Rule does. I mean, one of the things that he says, it just completely shows. Once he opened up to Shaw, he was completely open. He said, "You have me, Shaw. Any way you need me, any way you want me, you have me." And then, you know, he's like, "You've always had me. I just didn't know it." So it's really, really highly recommended read.
Yes.
It's a lot
Yeah.
of fun to read. The audio, man, audio on this book in particular, I loved it. I've listened to it several times. I've reread this book and reread this book and reread this book over
Yeah.
and over again. So much that I drove for 5.5 hours to Chicago, slept for a couple hours, standed in line for 5 hours, and then turned around and drove home just to meet and talk to Jay Crownover about this. Like, these people are so real, so they're just like it's a lot of the books that we read. They're people that you'd think you'd be able to meet and talk to on the street, or you go into this tattoo shop and you just like I've been into shops and they're all kind of like, "What are you doing here?" But I've also been into shops that they're all like, "Hey,
Hmm.
what can I do for you?" You know, like. But she really makes it realistic, and I really enjoyed that quite a bit in the story. And man, Rule,
Yeah, and that's the thing. I think you and I can just we can and instead of a quick review, we can do a whole thing on why we love rules so much. But then we also throw in Shaw. I mean, Shaw never wanted him to change, and he always thought that he thought that's what she wanted. And so when he was doing it, she was like, I want the Shaw. I want the guy that I fell in love with. I want the rule. I want the tattoos, the piercings, the gruffness.
yeah,
And I like that because she's so opposite. She is definitely completely, but she's so beautiful inside and out. And I think, and she's strong and she doesn't put up with it. And I think most women that if they have, they see themselves as somebody that they would wish that they could be someone like that if they're that girly and completely opposite and going for it. And I think that's why I think just the whole Jay Crownover did an amazing job with this book, and I really liked it.
yeah, you can't forget about Shaw in the story. She is really strong female, like really strong character. I mean, there's things that happen to her, and I mean, she gets kicked out. Well, not kicked out by her family, but she's mistreated by for her family, which is why she hangs out with the um, Rule's family and things like that. But then you also have, she's being harassed by an ex boyfriend, and there's all kinds of things that happen to her. But she's so strong, even without Rule by her side, that she can pull through this on her own. Um, but the fact that she's able to pull Rule out of some of the crap that's in his head, and he's able to do the same for her, to kind of save her in a way.
Yeah.
Along with the other characters, I don't like those female characters that need saving, but she
Yeah.
made it clear that she did not need saving.
No.
But she actually let him kind of smooth out some of her issues, some of her rough edges, kind of take care of her a little bit, and it was really really good to see that in a book. Like you said, it's young adult, but it doesn't have that feeling
No.
of being like kids. I mean, they're not really kids; they're in their mid,
No.
but still, it's just a really well written book, and I highly recommend you checking it out. The information will be in the comments. Um, and I want to give a quick shout out for Jade Crownover. We did ask her to do an interview, and she really wanted to, but unfortunately, we could not make it work with our schedules. But we really appreciate you, talking to us a little bit, and we love this series. I am so happy that we got to experience each of these men and the rest of your work as well. I have definitely got you a new reader.
Yes.
Thank you for joining us. Please like and subscribe, and we will see you next time.
See ya.